In today's world, the Fortune 500 list is dominated by scalable tech giants, whether it's enterprise SaaS companies, consumer websites, or tech infrastructure providers. They share one thing in common. They only need to be built once, and they can scale infinitely. But one company that breaks this mold entirely is Caterpillar. Unlike the tech behemoths, Caterpillar is a powerhouse in heavy machinery, serving blue-collar workers across the globe. From mining and excavating to building, logging, and farming, Caterpillar's reach is unparalleled. You might have seen the name Caterpillar on construction equipment in passing, but what you may not know is just how dominant this company truly is. When it comes to heavy machinery, there are only two real players: Caterpillar, commanding 39.33% of the market, and Deere & Co. with 35.68%. Everyone else? They share a mere 25% of the pie. In fact, you could argue that Caterpillar is even more ubiquitous than big tech. Caterpillar's machinery is sold in 192 countries out of 195 in the world. That's more than can be said for Google, Facebook, or YouTube, all of which are banned in several nations. But Caterpillar isn't just about big machines. They've been making durable smartphones for over a decade, featuring unique capabilities like air quality measurement, thermal imaging, and satellite connectivity. And that iconic yellow paint you see on their machinery? Caterpillar owns the trademark, and you can even purchase Caterpillar Yellow at Home Depot. This industrial dominance has propelled Caterpillar into the Fortune 100 with a market value of $176 billion. To put that into perspective, Caterpillar rakes in more profit than Coca-Cola and MasterCard companies known for their massive margins. Here's the untold story of the world's largest industrial giant, Caterpillar. If you want more in-depth stories, insider interviews, and exclusive tech analysis, subscribe to our free weekly newsletter. But back to Caterpillar. The company's roots trace all the way back to 1849 with a man named Benjamin Holt in Concord, New Hampshire. Ben wasn't just familiar with hard work, he lived it. His father owned a sawmill, and Ben, along with his 11 siblings, was deeply involved in the business from a young age, managing tasks like hardwood preparation, quality inspection, and timely deliveries. By the time Ben was a young adult, he was running the sawmill's shipping operations, while his brothers handled sales and delivery out in California. This continued until Ben was 34 when both of his parents passed away. In 1883, Ben decided to move to California, but not alone. The Holt family was close-knit, and upon arriving, Ben and his brothers started a new venture, the Stockton Wheel Company. They specialized in treating wood for the dry valleys of the West, investing $65,000 equivalent to $2 million today in factory equipment. The Stockton Wheel Company quickly grew, employing 25 men and expanding to 2 buildings. This success gave Ben the freedom to experiment with new ideas, leading to the creation of a massive steam traction engine in 1890. The tractor was 24 feet long and weighed 48,000 pounds. When Ben realized the tractor was sinking into the ground due to its own weight, he had a simple yet groundbreaking solution: massive wheels and tracks to distribute the weight. As for the name Caterpillar, that came from the company's photographer, Charles Clements, who noted that the tractor's movement resembled a giant caterpillar. Ben loved the observation so much that he adopted it as the name of the machine. But bringing the Caterpillar to market was a lengthy process. Although there were already over 100 patents for track-type tractors, none had succeeded in the real world. Ben spent 14 years perfecting his design. Despite personal tragedies losing all 3 of his brothers in California, Ben persevered, and in 1904, he finally introduced the first commercially viable track-type tractor. The first Caterpillar tractor sold for $5,500, which is about $185,000 today. Despite its high price, the Caterpillar was 6 times more cost effective than horse drawn combines, making it an instant hit and highly profitable. The company's growth skyrocketed during World War I, as the Caterpillar proved ideal for hauling artillery and supplies across rough battlegrounds. In fact, the Caterpillar tractor inspired the creation of tanks. However, after the war ended, demand plummeted. Ben tried to pivot back to farming, but most farmers found his military-oriented tractors too bulky. In his final days, Ben borrowed heavily to keep the company afloat. After his death in 1920, the bankers took over the whole manufacturing company. The bankers installed Thomas A. Baxter as the new leader. Baxter's first move was to cut out the oversized tractors and focus on smaller, farmer-friendly models. But this wasn't enough to save the company. Meanwhile, a new competitor, the CL, Best Gas Tractor Company, had emerged, focusing on the underserved farming industry. By the end of the 1910s, Best had become the leader in the farming tractor market. Ben Holt wasn't blind to Best's success. The two companies spent $1.5 million, equivalent to $31 million today, in legal battles over intellectual property and patents. But it was the lawyers who truly benefited from the fight. As an outsider, Baxter wasn't interested in this feud and looked for other ways to turn the company around. The Federal Highway Act of 1921, which aimed to build the nation's highway infrastructure, seemed like the perfect opportunity. Baxter immediately pivoted the company to producing road construction equipment. This shift allowed Baxter to negotiate a merger with CL. Best, leading to the creation of the Caterpillar Tractor Company in 1925. The company went public on August 17, 1925, and has remained a public entity for nearly a century. As part of the merger, Baxter ceded the CEO position to Clarence Leo Best, who would lead Caterpillar for the next 26 years. Ironically, the man who revitalized Caterpillar was once Ben Holt's biggest competitor. Best did a fantastic job. He streamlined the tractor lineup, offering the best of both companies. Caterpillar's iconic yellow color? That was Best's idea, designed to make construction equipment visible from a distance. The real boost, however, came during World War II, when Caterpillar became the go-to company for constructing military airfields and facilities. They were the 44th highest-paid government contractor during the war. Best didn't repeat Ben's mistake of betting the farm on the war effort. Caterpillar continued to thrive in the farming and road construction industries, setting the stage for the modern-day Caterpillar. How has Caterpillar remained dominant for decades, outlasting thousands of innovations? The answer lies into strategies. First, Caterpillar's customers are legacy Fortune 500 companies and governments, both of which are slow to change. Convincing these entities to switch products takes years, if not decades, of relationship building. This is unappealing to most startups, which prefer fast-growing industries like tech and AI. Second, Caterpillar has maintained its dominance through acquisitions. Since 1951, the company has made 39 major acquisitions, averaging one every 2 years. While most deals are private, the acquisition of Bucyrus in 2011 was public and significant. Bucyrus was a leader in surface mining equipment, and Caterpillar acquired the entire company for $8.8 billion. Despite its aggressive business tactics, Caterpillar has largely avoided controversy over its 100-plus years of operation. The biggest issue you might find is their occasional run-ins with the IRS over tax minimization, an issue that plagues nearly every major corporation. On the social responsibility front, Caterpillar has been a reliable partner in disaster recovery since the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, and they've supported the Red Cross for over 70 years. Caterpillar might seem like a boring background company, but that's precisely why they've stayed dominant for a century. In a rapidly changing tech world, Caterpillar remains a Fortune 100 company, doing what they do best, building the machines that build our world. And that's the untold story of Caterpillar.